Wow, it's been a solid year since I've worn this hat because I graduated a year ago today. May the 4th be with you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about what I've learned in the year since I've graduated college and things to just kind of help you on your way. I'm assuming that you are soon to be graduating or have just graduated, or maybe next year you'll be graduating college and you just want to get ahead of the game. Or maybe you're not in school at all. Not my business. Whatever. Go ahead, watch the video. My alma mater, the graduating class of 2020, just graduated a couple days ago on Saturday, and over the next coming weeks, a lot more people will be graduating, and that's super exciting, especially if that's you. If you fall in that category, congratulations. I'm very proud of you. Way to do the thing. I'm gonna take this off now. Graduating college was one of the scariest. It was super exciting, don't get me wrong, but it was one of the scariest times of my life because I had no idea what I was doing next. I had not started applying for jobs at all. I hadn't figured anything out. All I knew is that I was moving back to California, getting married 6 weeks after graduating, and then moving to Silicon Valley, and then that was gonna be it. I had no idea what the rest of my year, much less life, entailed. But here I am, a year later, and I've lived to tell about it, and I've learned some things, so I want to share those with you today. So let's get into it. First big thing is that authority is not end all be all on everything. For the last 2 decades, you have just been expected to listen and obey and believe everything that older people have told you, whether that be your parents or teachers, professors, whatever. However, that's not necessarily true. You are an adult, you are educated, you can make your own opinions. Things are changing all the time. There are a lot of professors who have not actually been practicing in their field for a couple decades because they've just been teaching. Don't be afraid to make your own opinions. You are informed, you are educated, you can do that. Consider all the things that you've been taught and just been expected to accept for the last couple years, decades, whatever, and consider if you really believe in that, and if so, why, and just find reasons for why you believe what you do. You have your own unique experience to bring to the table. Everyone's a little different. Everyone's going to experience things differently, and that's kind of part of the beauty of humanity. Change is good, and change really only comes with new ideas, so get out there. My second thing that I've learned, I don't know, I always expected this, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. People, for some reason, always told me oh, enjoy the college years while they last because it's so much easier than, a full-time career. That's wrong, Jimbo. That is just straight up lies. At least for me, and I think honestly, most people. Depending on the academic rigor of your university and your chosen career field, college is actually going to be the harder part. It doesn't stop when you leave the classroom. After you leave the classroom, you have to go back to your dorm room or your apartment and sit there for hours working on projects to then bring back the next day into things. It's a lot. With a full-time job, you show up, you do your work, you commute home, and then you're free. You can do whatever you want with that time, which took me a while to learn. I at first just defaulted to doing all the things that I would do with the small free time that I would have in college. So I would just watch a lot of Netflix and browse social media for hours on end and not really be sure what I would be doing next. I didn't know what to do with all the free time that I had after working. And only recently have I really developed more hobbies and scheduled myself to spend time doing things that I want to do. So welcome to the world of free time. It's great. My third point has to do with the job search process. You're gonna hopefully be applying to various different positions relevant to your field, what you want to do, super exciting. However, most of those companies probably aren't going to get back to you. Don't take it personally. Yeah, I applied to a couple dozen places before I even heard back from one. Whatever reason you have for getting a job, you usually want to do it basically as soon as possible. However, companies don't really see it that way. They sometimes will put up a job posting and leave it up for a few weeks to like wait for a bunch of applicants to come in, and then they'll just go through and arbitrarily sort through and be like, never mind, not that one, not that one. Oh, this one's better, whatever. They have their own processes, and a lot of times, unfortunately, HR departments and the hiring managers, whatever, just don't have the time or just don't care enough to actually respond to each applicant and be like, sorry, we are going with someone else, whatever. And that's okay. Yeah, don't be discouraged. Just keep applying to different places and you'll find something eventually. This is point number 4. Don't expect your first job to be your perfect job. Don't have too high of expectations for it. Yeah, most people are not going to stay in the same job forever. Your first job is entry level. It's a stepping stone to where you want to go eventually. And by getting in and starting something, that's just going to help you figure out even more what you want to be doing in the future. And as long as it's relevant to what you think you want to be doing, that's a good step. And also don't be afraid to apply for something that you're slightly underqualified for, because most of the time, or a lot of the time, those lists, depending on the company, are more of a like, oh, we want someone that meets at least some of these. And so you may only have like 6 of the 10 skills that they list, but just apply for it anyway, because you might have something else to bring to the table, whether it's like your team working spirit or ability to learn quickly and pick up on things that will then show that you're actually a better candidate for the job than someone else. I know you just spent 4 years or more, maybe a little less, working your butt off to get this piece of paper that says your name and something that you studied on it. And that's super cool. But unfortunately, while that is like a requirement, a lot of employers also end up looking more for skills that are, or like actual on-the-job skills, because it's one thing to learn something in a classroom, but another to do it in real life, you know. So especially if you didn't have any like relevant intern or job experience in school, then definitely be a little more open to possibilities of jobs that are maybe tangentially related to what you want to do. Just get something under your belt so then you kind of have a starting platform to then build from and continue building your skills in a professional setting. My 5th tip is to kind of diversify how you search for jobs. For me personally, I was just going through LinkedIn exclusively, finding job postings on there that were relevant to what I wanted to do, applying to them. I would customize my resume for each one most of the time and like just apply. And I was hearing nothing back. And it wasn't until I switched to Indeed and posted my resume on there that then the next day I got contacted by a recruiter from a staffing agency who was looking to fill a position that I had the skills for. Which at first I was like, what's a staffing agency? You might not even know what they are either. Some companies don't want to spend the time doing their own looking for candidates for jobs, so they pay these other companies to be like, hey, we need this many people to do this type of job with this description. Find us some people. And so a staffing agency's job is to go and find people to fit the position and make all those contacts. They're usually reaching out through LinkedIn, Indeed, other professional platforms for job searching, and they recruit people for jobs that are relevant to them. And you don't necessarily have to wait to be contacted by a recruiter. You can look for recruiters in your area. You can look for staffing agencies and temp agencies. Just be aware that they are often filling contract positions, so it might be like a 3-month or a 6-month or a year contract, whatever. So it might not be a permanent thing, but that's kind of a benefit for you, because if you don't like the job, then you don't have to continue it and you can figure out something else. So that's what I did. It's not for everybody, but it worked out really, really well for me. And some of those temporary jobs end up getting your foot in the door for a full-time job later. My 6th tip is that you do not have any obligation to your alma mater once you graduate. I know some people are like super into homecoming and it's like a legacy thing for them. Their parents went to the school, they love the school, whatever. If you don't love the university that you graduated from, that's perfectly acceptable. There are scandals and issues and things that happen all the time. with different schools, and that's okay. Your identity should not be in your university. You were educated there, but you are your own person. It's okay to not love your alma mater. If you just never want to step foot back on campus, that is perfectly acceptable. You are under no obligation to attend any sort of reunion, homecoming, alumni association, anything. You don't have to do it. You're done. You got your degree. That's all you came there to do. However, if you do love your alma mater, good for you. 7th tip, frickin' get your files. Your school probably has some sort of server with like all the computers, and you probably had some computer lab that you used maybe, and whatever ways of uploading things. Get all your files and organize them and get them in a place that will make sense and be long lasting, and back them up too. You may not think you want your stupid Photoshop project from sophomore year, but in a year or two, maybe you'll want to show it to someone so you can laugh. And then you search through your Google Drive where you thought you had put all your files, and it is no longer there, and you have no idea what happened to it, and you may just never see it again. Yeah, that happened to me. So I would recommend using like Google Drive or a Dropbox or some sort of like cloud service, and organize your files nicely in there. Probably break it up by year, semester, and class, and just keep all your projects. It's fun for the memories, and also for some things it's important to be able to reference things for a portfolio of sorts, and provide writing samples if you're in that kind of major or whatever. You will want your files in the future. Trust me, just do it. I wish I had done that, because now I don't have access to my school's servers and I have no idea what happened to a lot of my files. So if I ever wanted to use them for some reason, I don't really have them anymore. And it's kind of a bummer. So before you leave campus, hopefully you haven't left campus yet. If you have, figure out a way to get on your school's server so you can get all your files and put them in a safe place. I think the rest of the things that I had written down are really more relevant to maybe advice I would give myself while I was still in school. So I'll probably be making a second video. I hoped this helped you in some way. If it did, let me know. That'd be really cool. Subscribe if you want to. Otherwise, just go drink some water, revel in the success of your graduation, and have a great freaking day. Go drink some water. Bye, guys.